But, you know, at the end of the day, they're causing lots of pain for people and lots of heartache, and so...
But isn't it crazy that they say don't jail them? When they go to court, they're asked in court if they're prepared to go on a little course to actually say sorry. And of course they're all going to go, yeah, I'll do that, because then they'll escape jail. It's not a way of dealing with what they're doing.
They should perhaps try and deal with the problem once they've got them in jail. You know, kind of find out the right...
I think the problem is that the jails are awash with drugs, so...
Well, then that needs to be addressed there, doesn't it?
But where is punishment now, you know? You know, you break into someone's house, you terrify them, you take everything they've worked hard for, and your punishment for that is to go on a course to stop you taking drugs.
When you see some horrible junkie with all the scabby skin and everything else, I have to say, you do wonder, I mean, they punish themselves hard enough, what kind of impact prison would have. I'm torn. I kind of think this is a... It's the sensible move, because it's the desire for drugs that drives the burglary. I think otherwise well-intentioned people, if they need to get their hit...
But what system are you going to have in place? Waiting for them? You're going to lock them up somewhere in the country and put a big barbed wire fence around so they can't get out?
I mean, we hear often enough from people out there that the rehab situation in this country is really grim. There's not enough of it. It's not done well enough.
So what is the answer?
And isn't this just an excuse not to send people to jail?
Well,
Jails are full.
Go.
I'd rather have been there than in my house pinching my teeth.
Yes, me too.
To be honest, I know.
Me too. OK, and one more for you.
The final one, Catherine, who's 109, has been complaining she's got the same card from the Queen for the last few years. And to be fair to the Queen, she sent her grandson round to say sorry.
Is that right?
Yeah. William's gone round to meet Catherine, and he's apologised for his grand's, you know,
I think we've got the picture of the card somewhere. Look at that. I mean, if you got a prostate, can you imagine the disappointment? I wonder what I get when I'm 101, 102, and it's the same picture of Queenie. 109 of them.
I'll be over the moon to have 9 cards from the Queen. Absolutely over the moon.
One will do me.
But Will's gone round and he's apologised. He's had a little bit of tea and cake, and he's done the decent
He's having a roll this week,
yeah,
Will, isn't he?
We found out at the weekend that he's a big Ashes to Ashes fan as well.
Is that right?
Phil Keeley and Monsi met him at the weekend, and he said how much he enjoys the show. So he's obviously got good taste in drama.
Sadine, it's got a ring about it.
I think it could be on its way.
Come on then, Carol, what have you got, my dear?
OK, in the Times, big row brewing in the Church of Scotland. A guy called Reverend Ian Watson, he's decided that homosexuals should not be in the clergy. And he's tabled a motion for the General Assembly next week, which says that, I mean, this is outrageous in this day and age. It says he wants the Church of England not to train, ordain, admit, readmit, induct or introduce to any ministry of the Church anyone involved in a sexual relationship outside of marriage between a man and a woman. I mean, how retrograde is this? It's just incredible. And he's causing a big row. There's going to be a big split in the church because of this, I suspect. So that's a little bit retrograde. The Mail, Wednesday. This is also quite upsetting. Nearly 2/3 of married women, mothers, have to hold down a job to keep their kids. It says the latest figures show that 3/4 of mothers with children under 10 go out to work. And we're thinking that the mothers are looked after in this country. However, the mothers that are looked after, and they're saying that the thing that's to blame for this is that it's single parents. And because married parents are losing their benefits at the expense of single parents. And so
is it fair? I mean, there's a lady who's just come back to work for Princess, who make this show, and she's been off, I don't know, for the last year or so, maybe a year and a half. And the first thing she said today, she said she couldn't wait to come back to have a sense of normality in her life. So it may not be out of desperation. It might be out of choice, perhaps. But
it might be, but, you know, we don't know that it is. And if it's not, I think that's tragic. I really do. You know, it's not good. Now, Daily Mirror, lovely story about the first ever lady to be in the Red Arrows. She's called Flight Lieutenant Kirsty Moore. Do you say lieutenant? Lieutenant? I don't know.
Lieutenant.
Kirsty Moore. And she's the first woman ever to fly in the Red Arrow's 45-year history. I got confused.
That minister from the Church of Scotland probably wants her out of a job as well.
Well, exactly. Yes, you probably have her shot. But I actually thought there was a woman pilot in the RAF, and there was. I've just remembered. She was the first one in the RAF, but this one is the first one in the Red Arrows. I love watching them, do you? I love seeing them. Now, this one's for you, actually. This is the Mail, and this says, man flu, it's no myth. Now, you now are... When I've accused you of, you know, being ill and saying what you say... Anyway, this says man flu is not a myth because women's immune system is stronger than yours because of estrogen. And so that when we get flu, we're stronger and we can fight it, and when you get flu, you can't. However, that doesn't
right.
explain how you're all Nancy's when you get the flu. It's just ridiculous the way men behave. But there is now a medical reason, apparently.
OK.
You need to get estrogen injections. So you might get boobs, but at least your immunity will be great.
I'm developing boobs anyway, actually. Come on then, Mark, what have you got?
Swine flu, man flu, it's all happening. Yesterday we spent a lot of time talking about parents trying to get their kids into schools, having a lot of trouble getting that, and then getting your kid into a good school. Now we hear that a lot of parents, so of course we've heard this a lot, are ignoring the fines to get cut-price holidays during their school terms, take their kids out of school, out of the high time when it costs a lot of money to go.
It's a £100 fine, isn't it? I think
it's £50 to £100 fine, yes.
Which balanced against how much you save on your holiday.
They're saying it can be something like 900 quid to out of season to go to somewhere like Orlando, Florida. So people are saying, OK, 900 quid, 50 quid.
Yeah,
yep,
it's
pay the
worth it.
fine,
Yeah.
get the kids out and show them a good time, keep them happy. Who knows? So I don't know.
Would you do it?
I've always done it. Yeah. We take our kids out and we've shown them the world. You know.
It's all part of the education.
I think it's very
isn't
much
it?
part of the education and keeping your kids happy. And it's all hard. You know. It costs a lot of money to take your family on holidays.
Yeah.
But it's all.
I imagine more and more parents will be doing it as well.
I reckon
Anything
so.
else?
But there are fines. So, yes, there's a pub in Barnsley. Good on you. Kerry Fenton has got around with a mate called James Martin, 40. They've got around the no smoking in pubs by setting up a smoking research centre. And there's a loophole. If they have a separate room with a no through to the bar, they can get smoking. She has quadrupled her clientele in the last 3 weeks by setting up this smoking centre, so that people can go actually smoke in the pub like we used to.
So am I alone in thinking what an incredibly sad thing that she should have to do? I am alone.
Yeah, no, you're not alone. No, you're not alone.
There's-
No, but that's because they're saying that this could actually trash the law now. It means that all the pubs could now use this.
Yeah.
And they'd be smoking. I never used to go to a pub before because I couldn't breathe. Now it's nice to go into a pub and you can eat your food and there's no smoke.
Yes,
But
it's full of all
if
you people breathing, though.
Well, but we like to breathe. We want to be able to breathe.
Yeah, well,
The
go
thing
and
about
breathe somewhere
smokers,
else.
They have a fag and they do that. They keep it away from themselves and they do that. So
Well-
that someone like me gets it right in the
Look,
face.
there's a sign outside this building now that says you can't smoke outside in this bit.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
hello,
yeah.
the
You have
fascism.
been there.
Yeah, of course,
have been.
I am, because fascism is creeping. And you know the first person to actually introduce no smoking, don't you? Adolf Hitler.
Was it?
Yep. Berlin,
Was it?
1938. Adolf Hitler banned smoking.
Do you know something else about that? This is his favourite. It was his favourite building in Britain, Whiteley Shopping Centre, where we are.
Really?
Yeah. If at the time that we were all friends, Chamberlain and all that, this is where he wanted to establish his Third Reich British branch, right here.
Well,
in this
there you
building.
go. Well, there. I'm going to enjoy that next cigarette I have.
Come on, let's crack on. What else
Outside
we got?
his building. This is all respect to the late Patricia Thorburn. Much respect to her. She had said that she'd seen one of these lovely Rolls-Royce Phantoms, and she said to her people, "When I go, I want to go in one of those. Put me in a nice Rolls-Royce Phantom hearse." Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's in the hearse. She's ready to go, and a rival firm of undertakers pinched the keys to the car, and she couldn't get to her actual
There's a
grave.
movie in this somewhere, isn't there?
Yeah, this is 15 years ago they was touching on this, weren't they? So this poor woman stuck in the car park while they're taking the dashboard off this Rolls Royce to get it, and the bloke's been fined, actually.
OK. And your last one?
The last one is, well, it's utter. If this is just silly. I think you'd be better off just moving on.
No, I want to come on. This is my favourite
This
story of the
makes
day.
no sense at all. There's an ad. This company has put out. I'm not sure what the company's called. But they put out this ad for their milk, Cravendale. Yes, Cravendale milk, with a black Frisian cow, black and white cows.
Yeah.
And what they said was they put their cow through a purification process, and it comes out just white cow. And so there's been
Clearly
complaints
racist.
about being a racist.
Yeah.
This is being a little bit racist.
Yeah, by removing
In that
the black,
you remove
white
the black,
is
you make
purer.
it pure and purer.
Yeah.
And it's all sort of the language of our mate Adolf.
Yeah. And people wrote in to complain about this?
Yes, there were 10 complaints, and but the authority has said, well, actually, no, it's not racist. It's just a daggy little cartoon. But this is where this argument started way back in the 70s, and it's something you have to be careful of because in Australia they call the bushfire season that Black Friday, and there's a lot of people saying, well, why does everything that's wrong have to be black? And I understand where it's coming from, but that's a little bit that's a little bit silly,
Okay.
I think. But, you know, we've got to be careful. That's all they're saying. Be careful.
I just don't like
Be
the
careful.
idea of my milk going through some kind of purification process. I find
It's
that a
called
bit weird.
pasteurisation, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so.
We've been doing it for years.
Yeah. It's weird.
It is weird. It doesn't make the cow white. It doesn't turn the cow into a...
That is
That's
for
where
sure.
it's stupid. We should be against stupidness. Don't be stupid.
OK. Talking of stupidity, or maybe, I don't know what your views are on this, we're asking after the break if there should be a time limit on protests and demonstrations. Ministers are, by all accounts, fed up with those Tamil protesters now in their 5th week camped outside Parliament, where there is a time limit on demos, but the police are apparently doing nothing to move them on. Elsewhere in the country, you can protest for as long as you like. Is that sensible, fair and just? 0207 173 5555 is the number for your thoughts. Should there be a time limit on protests? You tell me in 3.
How long did anti-nuclear campaigners protest at Greenham Common? 19 weeks, 19 months or 19 years? Find out after the break.